Why has Taehyung's name suddenly become a hot topic among South Korean media and the international community, even though he is currently undergoing his military service in private? What did Jungkook find out that made his sudden statement shake BTS fans and leave armies around the world in hysteria? Amid the strict supervision of military information, one sentence from Jungkook changed everything. "I can't stay silent anymore. You all need to know." This statement was delivered during an unexpected short live broadcast on HYBE's internal platform, typically used for direct communication with fans. That sentence did not merely open the session, but also marked the beginning of an information storm that flooded social media with anxiety and speculation. Jungkook, who is usually very cautious in choosing words when it comes to other BTS members, this time sounded serious, emotional, and burdened. An internal source, who asked to remain anonymous, confirmed that Jungkook's statement was not just an emotional improvisation, but rather part of a personal effort to convey something that had been obscured by institutional policy. Initial speculation arose when fans noted that unlike the other members, there had been no visual updates or official activity from Taehyung for more than 4 consecutive weeks. This was considered unusual, especially for a public figure as prominent as V of BTS, who remains in the spotlight even during his military service. When a rumor surfaced online in Korean communities suggesting Taehyung was unwell during his training, the internet reacted swiftly. But before the rumor could be denied or clarified by the agency, Jungkook's statement seemed to reinforce the concern. And the now viral 13-minute live broadcast, which has been translated into various languages, Jungkook stated that, "What's happening to Taehyung cannot be taken lightly." He revealed that he received information directly from someone with access to the military base where Taehyung is stationed. While not naming anyone specifically, Jungkook emphasized that the information was troubling enough to make him lose peace of mind for several days. With an emotional tone, Jungkook added, "He's too strong to complain, but I know Taehyung is not okay." The public began re-examining previous statements from the agency and various media. Why was there no official documentation as usual? Why had HYBE not released a clarification? The absence of confirmation and the silence from military authorities only fueled the impression that something more serious was being concealed. A source from military journalism circles mentioned that the reporting system in the elite unit where Taehyung is serving is indeed highly confidential and prioritizes privacy and strict discipline. But the fact that a health issue involving such a major public figure remained unclear only reinforced suspicions that the situation was more serious than it appeared. According to information gathered by a local media outlet, Taehyung has reportedly experienced a significant decline in physical condition since late last month, allegedly due to excessive physical exertion during intensive training. One anonymous source within the military noted that a soldier with the initial K suffered from acute digestive issues and low blood pressure and had to be rushed to the medical unit for continued treatment. While no name was mentioned, fans quickly associated that initial with Kim Taehyung. This situation prompted various media outlets to dig deeper. Under intense media scrutiny, clues began to emerge that several of Taehyung's fellow unit members had been seen visiting the internal clinic more frequently than usual, suspected to be part of medical escort procedures. Although there has been no direct statement, a former soldier who served in the same unit confirmed that such patterns typically indicate extreme fatigue or recurring minor injuries. But when combined with Jungkook's statement that Taehyung isn't just exhausted, he's under a pressure that can hurt from within, the public began to question whether this was just a normal medical case or something more complex psychologically. The psychological impact of military service on a celebrity like Taehyung is not a new issue, but it has never been discussed openly with high transparency. Taehyung is known as someone who keeps his private life tightly guarded and rarely complains, even under immense pressure. However, assuming someone is strong doesn't mean they are immune to collapse. This idea became central to the new narrative Jungkook voiced. At the end of his live, Jungkook quietly said, "I just want him to return as his whole self, not as a hero silently hurting." The public's overwhelming response to this revelation increased pressure on HYBE. Less than 48 hours after Jungkook's broadcast, the company released a brief statement that offered little detail, merely stating that Kim Taehyung is in stable condition and continues to carry out his duties according to military procedures. That statement drew even more criticism for being too generic and failing to answer the public's questions. International media outlets, including Reuters and NME, highlighted the issue, noting that the South Korean military's lack of transparency regarding high-profile artists like Taehyung could pose a cultural diplomatic issue, given its broad impact on the global entertainment industry. Now, the question is no longer just about Taehyung's health, but also why a BTS member had to be the catalyst for revealing potential non-transparency within the military system. Is it true that Taehyung is merely exhausted, as some parties insist? Or is there a more complex medical and psychological condition that is being deliberately concealed to protect reputations? Academics at Seoul National University have even begun raising this issue as a case study in public lectures. Dr. Min Hyojin from the Department of Communication stated, "The Taehyung case and Jungkook's response open up an important discussion about the limits of military transparency toward public figures, the balance between national duty and mental health rights, and the massive influence of fandom on traditionally closed systems." Meanwhile, armies worldwide are organizing various digital campaigns and sympathy actions to support Taehyung. Many are calling for a special protection system for celebrities serving in the military, including the right to receive visits from family or agency representatives in emergency situations. The issue has even reached the legislative level, with a South Korean lawmaker from the Democratic Party stating that he would consider proposing a Psychological Protection Act for public figures in military service. On the other hand, some media questioned Jungkook's motive for going public with this information. Was the statement merely a personal expression of concern, or part of an internal push for greater agency transparency? There is also speculation that Jungkook was voicing what had long been suppressed by contracts and corporate interests. However, considering his emotional and sincere tone, many believe this was a genuine outcry from a friend who could no longer watch his fellow members suffer in silence. This story is far from over. In fact, what Jungkook revealed opens the door to serious questions that must be answered by the military, the agency, and even the South Korean government. What exactly happened to Taehyung inside a military system known for its discipline but now facing transparency scrutiny? Why must a global icon like Taehyung endure declining health without maximum protection? And most importantly, will the public receive the real truth, or just fragments of normative statements meant to suppress concern? With growing demands from fans and pressure from international media, the world is now waiting for one thing: real confirmation. Until that moment arrives, one sentence from Jungkook continues to echo in the public's memory, a sentence that was more than concern, but also a stern warning that behind the smiles and calm demeanor of idols, there are often wounds the world never sees. Taehyung is struggling, and the world deserves to know the truth. After days of speculation, intense discussion among global fans, and the emergence of emotionally charged narratives on social media, it is now essential to return to the foundation of ethical journalism: verification. Based on an in-depth follow-up investigation, consultation with credible sources within the military, cross-checks with HYB's official statements, and expert analysis, it is confirmed that the alarming reports and emotional speculations regarding Taehyung's military health condition and Jungkook's supposed statement are not based on factual or verifiable information. The viral content that triggered panic among the army community, which claimed that Jungkook went live to reveal Taehyung's deteriorating health, has been identified as a piece of fabricated news that cleverly manipulated emotional language and misleading information. Upon analysis, there was no such live broadcast recorded on HYB's official platform, nor was there any statement from Jungkook addressing Taehyung's condition in the manner described. Moreover, investigations within military circles and confirmation from multiple defense officials confirmed that no soldier with the initials K, matching Taehyung's identity, had been recorded as receiving prolonged medical treatment or being in critical condition. All official records show that Taehyung is fulfilling his duties in accordance with standard procedure, with no incidents that require special medical attention. Experts in media literacy warn that manipulative narratives like the one that recently circulated are part of a broader trend of disinformation in fan-driven spaces. Dr. Han Ji-yeon, a media studies researcher at Korea University, commented, "Emotionally charged rumors that appear to come from internal sources are especially dangerous because they appear plausible, exploit fans' emotional ties to celebrities, and spread quickly without confirmation." In conclusion, there is no evidence to support the claim that Taehyung is experiencing health issues during his military service, nor is there any evidence that Jungkook made any public emotional statement related to Taehyung's condition. What this incident has shown is the incredible power of fandoms and the urgent need for responsible media consumption and verification. The hope going forward is that all fans will base their support and reactions on facts, not fear, and continue to honor BTS members not only as idols, but as individuals deserving of privacy, dignity, and truth.